Well, hello again. I haven't really had time to make a longer video about this. I'll try and do it over the next couple of days or so. But there's a lot of excitement at the moment about this. What is it? This Schumer amendment that they're trying to get pushed through at the moment. And personally, I hope that it is approved. Because I think it will be very shortly after that it will be revealed that there is nothing to any of this nonsense, because apparently they're going to get subpoena power. All they really need to do is subpoena Eric Davis and Hal Puthoff and say, yeah, okay, take us and show us where this stuff is. And they'll go, well, we had it last week. What did you do with it, Eric? Yeah, I thought you had it, Hal. Because there's nothing to it. Anyway, let's just comment on this quickly.
Started reporting. Then on to the formation of AIMSOG and ARROW. We have then had hearings heard around the world as pilots Dave Fravor and Ryan Graves sat alongside whistleblower David Grush talking about their experiences.
All completely meaningless, no tangible evidence.
Recovered craft and non-human biologics. All this
yeah, right.
seems to have led to this very week where the Schumer Rounds amendment is hanging in the balance as politicians fight to preserve or weaken its contents. And I want to ask you, how important for you is it the passing of this amendment, and what are the ramifications we could see in the coming days and weeks if it passes, or if it passes in some other form?
Well, if it passes in its present form, Andy, it's going to be extraordinarily important because not only are we going to have a board that is in place, that is appointed by the president, and have the president being briefed regularly about how their progress is going, but the board will have the authority to.
Well, if they've been supposedly doing this for 50 or 60 years, what is it, from 50, 70 years. You would think they would have made some progress, wouldn't you? Obviously, they're making zero progress because we're not seeing any of it, are we?
To extract the information from not only all 6 of the United States military services, all 18 of the intelligence agencies, all 32 of the United States Defense Department agencies, but also the private aerospace contractors, which is extraordinarily important. They'll have subpoena power, and also, very importantly, they will have the power under the power of eminent domain to actually order the private aerospace industries to turn back over to the United States government any UFO equipment and technology that has been put into their hands to under contract to try.
See, and all the people that have been saying they've got this stuff for years, if not decades, are now going, oh no, what are we going to do? Because it's never existed, they're going to fight tooth and nail to say, okay, we've got to keep all this secret because it doesn't exist, because it's a lot of nonsense.
Try to back engineer, which has been going on. And as you mentioned, David Grush has already testified about that we've got some 40 witnesses who know perfectly well that not only that we have the UFO
completely worthless without any tangible evidence. Anyone can tell science fiction stories, can't they?
Crap, but that the aerospace industry has been put into possession of some of this to try to back engineer it specifically to make weapons, which is an extraordinarily serious problem right now.
Well, what does he honestly think anyone is going to be doing with advanced ET technology? If it existed, does he seriously believe no one is going to try and weaponize it?
And one of the things we're trying to do is eventually get a treaty where all countries will be prohibited from using any of the UFO technology to try to develop a weapons system. To give them a comparative advantage over other people here on our planet.
How naive is this guy, really? Who is he? He's Danny Sheehan. Not overly sure who he is, to be honest. I think he's a bit of a UFO fanboy, is he? I don't think he's a politician, this guy, is he? Is he an author? A UFO author? Anyway, yeah, so naive doesn't even begin to describe him, does he? Does it? You know, he's... If anyone did have any ET technology, they are going to weaponize it, you know, the treaty or not. It's completely and utterly ridiculous. A lot of the people that are involved in this UFO business don't seem to have much of a grip on reality, I think. Now, I was looking at something. I'll do a better video and I'll actually show you a newspaper clip and some other bits and bobs. But I saw in one of the newspapers, you know, the CIA say they've got 9 crashed craft. And then Ross Coulthard is on there saying, well, you know, the only thing that I would take exception to with that article is that there's more than 9. There's more than 9 crashed craft, you know. And I thought, this is coming from a guy that won't tell us where this this crashed alien spacecraft is outside of the USA that someone's put a building over. Have you ever heard anything more ludicrous? And he won't give us the results of his the tests on the alien ball from Texas. You know, when's he going to tell us that's just a plain old ball check valve made in the good old US of A? You know, and he's sitting on that. They're saying they've got alien biologics. Yeah, Gary Nolan, who was someone asked him in an interview, and again, I could do this a lot better. I could show all these clips, but you know, have you ever seen any ET biological specimens? Because he's a medical type guy, biologics type guy, professional. And he went into a long monologue about aliens sending crewed craft, you know. Do you really think they would send a crewed craft, you know? All he had to say was no. When he was asked that question, Gary Nolan, have you been presented with any biological specimens that have turned out to be extraterrestrial? All he had to say was no. And he went into this long monologue. And Gary Nolan and David Grush have started something called the SOL Foundation, and they're begging for money, of course, you know, because David Grush needs some money now. Apparently Gary Nolan said that he won't take a salary from SOL, but they're going into, and again, I'm going to do another video and it's showing you all these protocols, you know, all these academics have got together and they've got all this huge list of protocols of what to do with this ET material, you know. Completely and utterly pointless, you know, until somebody's actually presented with some of this stuff. You know, as it doesn't exist, all the protocols are completely pointless. You need something tangible to apply protocols to. There isn't anything tangible. So I reckon the SOL Foundation is the shit out of luck foundation, because they're not going to get anything to analyse. All they're going to do is sit around in a hall listening to people's science fiction stories and then come up with a bunch of academic bullshit about what to do with this, what to do with this material when they get it, you know. Complete and utter rubbish, all of it. And the sooner they get this Schumer amendment approved, pushed through, get people subpoenaed, Eric Davis, Hal Puthoff in particular, you know, and say to them, okay, you've been telling us about this for decades. Show us an alien spacecraft. The sooner they do that, the better, because the sooner they do that, they're going to realise that this is all bullshit. There is absolutely nothing to it. There is no biological biological material. There is no ET technological material, because no ET species is going to leave samples of, you know, biological samples or technological samples here for us to study. Another ridiculous thing you hear is, oh, well, you know, they might not have crashed, they may have been gifted. Who said that? Was that Grush? You know, no ET species is going to help us get to them and potentially destroy them. It is beyond ludicrous. This whole UFO business is complete and utter rubbish. And the sooner this Schumer amendment gets put through, I think the sooner everybody will become aware of that. And I've got another clip of David Grush saying, oh yeah, well, he spoke to Senator Harry Reid, you know, and Harry Reid said it was ET and all this. Yet there's a newspaper article, again, I've done a video about this and I'll include it in the next video, where Harry Reid says it's Vlad and it's the Russians. You know, the vehicles buzzing the American warships are Russian. And he was disappointed that the Pentagon, Arrow and all that didn't come to that conclusion because it was obviously Vladimir Putin's mob. You know, so Harry Reid, unfortunately, is dead, so he can't get on there and say, you know, Grush is talking absolute rubbish. But, you know, Grush is saying one thing, Harry Reid, in a newspaper article, was saying the complete opposite. Harry Reid saying it's not ET at all. Grush is saying, oh, it's ET. You know, so, and I think, you know, obviously Grush is milking this. He wants to get on the UFO talk circuit. You know, the usual UFO fanboys, the usual suspects, are all talking this up because they make money. It's their living. You know, they want to stay on the UFO talk circuit telling these science fiction stories because it makes them a good living and it makes them feel special. You know, I know about this stuff and you don't. You know, stuff I can't talk about, obviously. You know. And it's complete and utter rubbish. So let's hope this Schumer amendment gets passed, and let's hope that Tim Burchett and the other senators, Luna and Mace, and there was another guy, keep pushing and pushing and pushing to get this through. And I just hope that once they do get it pushed through, and all this stuff has to be presented to Congress, to the American government, you know, all these companies that have supposedly got this stuff, you know, I hope that Senator Tim Burchett has the integrity to say, well, what we found was nothing. No one was able to present anything. Apparently there never has really been the crash of an alien spacecraft on the Earth. No one's got any samples, biological or technological. It's all been a load of rubbish from the start. Now Tim Burchett talks about Roswell as though that was real, and we know that's not real. Can't be real. Because if it was an alien spacecraft, it would have been taken to Los Alamos, which was just up the road. You know, Fermi and all the best physicists in the world were still at Los Alamos since the Manhattan Project. They would have been the people that would have been looking at an alien spacecraft. Yet Fermi in 1950 at Los Alamos said, you know, if there's aliens all over the place, why aren't we seeing any evidence of them? He wouldn't have said that if he'd been working on an alien spacecraft, would he? So Roswell wasn't an alien spacecraft. You know, the guy running the Mogul Balloon Project said that he fell about laughing when he saw the disc story in the Roswell record because he knew that what they'd found was Mogul Balloon string number 4, you know. It's been rubbish from the start, all of it. So there we go. All right, just a short one, and just to let you know I'm still out here. And I'll do a better video. And I'll show some newspaper clips and a few clips of people saying some stupid stuff. Remember Gary Nolan was saying, this is Christmas last year, about a month before Christmas last year. Oh yeah, there's going to be a big reveal before Christmas. I've been talking to insiders. I know what's coming. And I made a video and I showed him saying that, a clip of him saying that. And I said, I'll make a bold prediction here. I'll tell you exactly what's coming. Nothing. And who was right and who was wrong? Was Gary Nolan right? Or was I right? Nothing happened. Now he's spruiking the same sort of nonsense. And again, nothing is going to come of this. All right, well, thanks for watching. And hopefully I'll catch you again.